Hey guys, sexual violence here. Man, I can't complain too much. We got lucky in a few spots, but we got really happy, like a really good card out of Bellator. Would have been an amazing card at LFA, but I obviously have to screw it up somehow, you know? This is my bad. Levea is a boxer, but he's facing a guy who's a seasoned vet in MMA. And this isn't boxing, this is MMA. I should have, if I was going on Levea's side, made it one unit risking maybe one. You know what I mean? The odds were too crazy. I should have threw some money on Brown. This is what happens, man. I'm gonna keep it noted, but it is what it is. Levia was supposed to be some big undefeated prospect, but of course they always get exposed by someone like Michael Johnson or someone that shouldn't be exposing them. And it is what it is. Not happy about it, obviously. 3 unit swing, but we're gonna get into the LFA one first, and then we're gonna get into Bellator. Cause man, that really sucked. And then not even gonna change gears, but what a terrible pick for Gage Young. This guy has no grappling, and I have no faith in him. He can strike against guys with no striking, but man, I'm done with him. Done with him. Officially done with him. So upset. I really thought that he would pull through for me. Couldn't do it. Oh, and look at that. Cahill lost too. So I don't even think I got to fully get. Yeah, one sec. And Cahill lost. Okay. Yeah, it's good to know. So we actually only cashed 0.795. So yeah, so sorry, I gotta post that real quick. Okay. But yeah, let's get into it. So I didn't get to see the Sasadic fight, so I'm not going to talk about it. LFA doesn't show their prelims, so it's really annoying. Really unfortunate though. Sasada lost, beat Kill. I didn't even know how it bit, but apparently he dominated him. Yeah, sorry. This A5 smell of it. Rub A5, A535. You guys ever use it? Smells like peppermint. Yeah, I have a sore shoulder, so I'm trying to get through these videos for you. Yeah, so Kale, man, really unfortunate you couldn't get the job done as an underdog. But it is what it is. Moving on, we had Penna. Again, I couldn't see the fight because they don't show the prelims. But he got the job done. Really happy there. Cashed a few parlays. Yeah, led to the profitable day probably. But yeah, let's get in. I should have probably had a little more juice on him, but I like to keep it safe. Some situations. Let's move on to our boy Ernesto Rodriguez, underdog. I knew Jeffrey Craig was overrated. He has a body type of a 18-year-old. He's good, but I don't think he's at the level he thinks he is. And Ernesto humbled him, so that was nice. Um, really wish I had more juice on that. That would have made a big difference. But the fight was close, so I didn't know what to do. But yeah, happy Ernesto got the win here. Made up for that robbery from Jeffrey Craig and Jason Blair. And yeah, cash there, plus 0.25 units, so a quarter unit. Let's get on to our lock of the card, or one of the locks of the card. Cody Davis took on the Can Crusher Alvaro Prado. Cody Davis proved that the guy's a Can Crusher, finished him in the first round. Rear naked choke. The guy didn't even show really any defense. It was really unfortunate to watch if you're a fan of his. But yeah, Cody Davis got the job done. I'm interested to see where he goes from here. I don't think he's that good, but maybe he'll surprise me. Moving on, we have Dion Barboza versus Mariano Piccolo. There was a fight going on, so I couldn't really watch this fight. But Dion, she was doing really well from what I did see. Landed good throws. Got submission attempts. Yeah, I think she deserved the win. I'm really happy about that. Picked up cash to parlay. Piccoloco was game though, so that was good. That made for a fun fight. But yeah, moving on, we had Richie Miranda versus James Wilson. They scored it a split decision. I don't know how you give James Wilson a split decision. Yes, he landed on top in a lot of situations, but he didn't do anything. No submissions. No, the striking was nullified. Yeah, Richie Miranda won that unanimous decision clear. But yeah, Richie Miranda's definitely a problem. If he keeps working on his positional game, then he's going to be even better. But he does give up a lot of positions when he doesn't need to, which is a little frustrating to watch. But he is active, so both in the cage and on his off his back, he's very good cardio. And I really like watching him fight. So yeah, Richie Miranda, great performance again. El Machete. But yeah, cashed to 5 unit max there. Really, really happy about it. Moving on though, we had Danny Silva as a favorite here. I wasn't sold just because I haven't seen him fight before. Thank God I didn't put a whole. It would have been a negative day if I did. But yeah, I did half unit, and then yeah, just unfortunately he couldn't get the job done. It was a close fight, majority decision, but it was a Herb Dean gave it a draw. So I don't know. We could have got the win there, but chips didn't go in our favor in that fight. So it is what it is. Canaan's not going to be much in the sport. I don't believe him at all. But yeah, let's see how he does in his next fight. Moving on to the main event, the fight that really, really broke my heart. Undefeated Alfonso Levea. Big, big prospect. Big dude, big power. Good wrestling. Showed none of it. He landed, actually, no, he landed a one good shot to the chest, I think. But, man, he can't take a body shot. Um, and most people can't, but Chris Brown, man, like, he isn't that great. And he absolutely just picked him apart when the bot to the body. Really unfortunate. Chris Brown is now 10-4. Took the O from Levea. He's beat some really good guys, man. I should have gave a little more respect to Chris Brown. 3 unit swing. Really, really probably what lost us most of our units from this card. Um, the main event, it's usually what does it. Um, but yeah, let's get into Bellator. We're gonna crush both of them in one card. Yeah, let's. Okay, a second. Okay, let's get into Bellator. So we had Cass Bell versus Jared Scoggins. What do you know? I was right on the underdog pick. Plus 400. Cass Bell proved Jared Scoggins is overrated, and he doesn't have much of a ground game, and his striking isn't very good. Cass Bell proved it, and he got the job done. Thanks for the follow, Cass Bell. Really appreciate the win. Cashed 1 unit. Could have parlayed them. Would have made a fun parlay with that. Could have should have parlayed a lot of dogs in this card. If I see a lot of dogs on one card, I'm gonna have to parlay them more. But yeah, moving on. Our other dog, Michael Lombardo. He had him. Mark Lemminger. I had him as a prediction. I thought he'd be able to win a decision with the wrestling, just because Mark Lombardo didn't really show much defense. But man, did he show some new facets to his game? Good boxing. Really showed that Mark Lemminger has a chin problem. And yeah, Michael Lombardo exposed it first round. Kind of killed our first over 1.5, but that parlay was gonna be dead anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Mark Lemminger definitely is gonna have to either consider his career moving forward because he is now at a 50-50 record. Michael Lombardo, his record's still pretty good, so he could make some waves. He called it. Can't remember who he called it. I think it was Kelly. So that'll be an interesting fight. I'd give the edge to Kelly just because Lombardo doesn't really have much of a grappling game. But yeah, let's see if he can surprise us. Yeah, moving on though, we had Kai Kamaka. This is probably my biggest regret of the card. Kai Kamaka, I had winning this fight. I was very confident in Kai, but I couldn't put the juice on him just because the odds were pretty crazy. Retrospect, I should have, just because Kevin Bohm isn't anything special. He's just really tough, and Kai Kamaka proved it. What? But the thing with Kai, he's not very consistent. I mean, he is, but he isn't. It's weird to explain. Kai Kamaka got the job done though. Nice finish in the third round. Kind of wish I did put some more juice on him, but it is what it is. Rather be again safe than sorry. Moving on, we had Pat Downey versus Christian Eccles. Pat Downey, man, I had him as a prediction, winning a nice split decision with his wrestling. Didn't show any of that. He got finished quick in the first round. Showed that he has no striking. His jiu-jitsu is non-existent. And yeah, that's what happens when you don't take your career seriously. I had a feeling he was going to lose. I called it. I arbitraged him, and we profited plus 6 units on that just because, yeah, it would have been a plus. I would have been profitable either way. So we cashed. I'm really happy we did. What a great car. What a great cash. I'm really happy about it. Patrick Downey is now humbled, and Christian Eccles, some no name, finally gets some recognition. Gotta love it. Sorry guys, my neck is literally killing me. So if you gotta excuse me, I'm gonna be wincing a lot throughout this. Yeah, Chris Lencioni versus Cody Law. Beautiful decision. I love it when they get the decision right. Cody Law did absolutely nothing with his takedowns. Chris Lencioni was actually active with submissions and with punches. Could it have gone to Cody Law? Sure. Would it have been a robbery? No. But I'm happy the judge got it right. Chris Lencioni, I don't believe in him that much, but I do believe in him enough to win these fights against guys like Cody Law, who are just there to hold you. And Chris Lencioni is not there to be held. So good win for Chris Lencioni. Cody Law, what a fall from heaven, eh? He was looking really good too. But yeah, moving on. Probably one of the biggest upsets for me. Kyle Kruchmer. Oh man, what an upset. Jalal Willis, my boy even told me to back Jalal, the guy who told me to back Eccles, but I didn't listen, and this is what I get for not listening. Kyle Kruchmer, he's absolutely terrible. Um, no faith in him whatsoever. Will not be picking him unless he's facing a can or someone with no grappling. Jalil Willis is subpar grappling. He still defended his takedowns. Given he's a bigger guy, so it's a little harder to get him down. Kyle Krushmer has no cardio, no striking. His wrestling isn't great, and his jiu-jitsu isn't great. Good win for Jalil Willis. I'll keep my eye out on him moving forward. Moving on though. Yeah, that made up girl that made up for it, Alara Joanne. It was close, and I honestly do think there's an argument for Kiel Holtz, but I just think Kiel Holtz's fight IQ is too bad to give her that win. She just doesn't understand the ground game. It's just absolutely clear as day. I said it in my assessment. Alara Joanne didn't didn't do what I thought she would though. I thought she'd have a lot easier time on the ground. She was very like she just held the position. She didn't like do much, and I got stood up like a few times. I was freaking out during this fight, just how annoying Dan Margalotta was and her. It was really unfortunate, but glad we got the win here. Judges were on fire for this card, so it can't ask for better. But yeah, moving on. We had Dalton Rosted win a unanimous decision. He did just that. Did I think Anthony Adams would put up a little better of a performance? No. I thought this was about the performance to expect. If he did well in the last round, he actually might have had an argument to win. But I just feel Dalton Rosted was just the more effective, the one who was landing the more effective shots, and he was the one who was pushing the action, getting the ground control, and at the end there, he just solidified it with that flurry. I just think he is on steroids, clear as day. He is a beast, freak of nature, beautiful flurries. He isn't pretty when he strikes, but he gets the job done. It wasn't the prettiest fight. That's one thing I can say. Both of these guys, I'm gonna be taking into consideration moving forward when they're fighting the upper echelon of the division. But yeah, speaking of the upper echelon of the division, Patchy Mix versus Magomed Magomedov. Initially, I had Magomed and Magomedov, but I've changed my prediction to Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix, man, he's just changed. The way he trains, the way he takes his career serious. He's an absolute beast. He proved why. He's one of the greatest grapplers in the game right now. Proved why. Submitting a guy that's never been finished, putting him out cold. Beautiful submission. Just made it over the 1.5 too, so I'm really happy about that. Thanks Patchy for holding it. For thanks Magomed for surviving just enough for my parlay to cash. But yeah, Patchy Mix man, he's a problem. I'll get into the main like who I think is gonna win the final after the I talk about the main event. But yeah, Patchy Mix, what a beast. Moving on, it's gonna be weird because they're both coached by Eric Nicksick, I think. So it's gonna be a weird fight. Moving on, we got Liz Carmouche taking on Juliana Velasquez as an underdog again. I don't understand why they played her an underdog. The girl has no grappling, Juliana. They thought it was a fluke. Yes, she did lose every round. Previous to that round, she finished her, but she has good grappling. You don't want to count a girl out like that, and that's what they did again. And I do think Liz Carmouche proved that it wasn't a fluke. That this girl doesn't have good grappling, and if that fight was a street fight, she'd be dead because she has no get up ability, no ground work off her back. She's just limited with her jiu-jitsu. She has no jiu-jitsu. So just like I thought, Liz Carmouche gets the job done. Quicker finish than last time. Proved that it wasn't a fluke. And proved that she's legit. Liz Carmouche, 2 unit cash. Gotta love it. This card, to be honest, gave me a chuff. Just because of how much I got things right. But yeah, moving on. We had Rafion Stotts versus Danny Sabatello. Now, Sabatello, I gotta respect him. His cardio is absolutely unbelievable. His wrestling is also unbelievable. But he has nothing but that. That's the thing about this guy. And Rafael Stotts proved that this isn't wrestling. He threw up knee bars, Kamaras. I can't really. The knee bar is the most like dangerous, but he was throwing shit up, throwing strikes off his back. Given he was frustrating me and it was a close fight, he did enough to where I felt he defended up most of the shots. Sabatello had no control, like I mean no damage, and Sabatello is a one-dimensional fighter with a lot of heart and a lot of cardio. Stotts landed some big shots, some nice elbows. I thought he clearly won that fight. Nice split decision though, made it interesting. Great card though, guy. Let me get into who I think is going to win the final. So early prediction, I do think Rafael Stotts has a good chance of winning with his wrestling background. It all depends if he tries to get in an ego battle and thinks, no, let me wrestle, because he has wrestling, but he sometimes he uses it when he shouldn't, like this fight. He was trying to take down a wrestler when that's his only way to win. Never give your opponent a way to win unless you're four like you know what I mean. Like you're up 4-0 on the judges' scorecards. Always play it safe. Obviously, if you need to throw some caution to the wind when you're striking, but when you're you know what I mean. Don't give your opponent a way in the fight if you don't need to. Rafael Stotts did that too much, in my opinion, but he did a lot of good work. When a lot of times I thought he was going to gas, he showed his heart of a champion. Rafael Stotts shouldn't have made him 10 units, but I got the job done. 10 unit cash, assessment, prediction right. Maybe not the finish that I got wanted, but he got the job done. Beautiful, beautiful win from Mr. Stotts. And I do think I do favor him slightly in this Patchy Mix fight, but it's a close fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if Patchy submits him or gets his back, you know what I mean? Shebang, shebang. But I just think the striking is just a little bit better on Stotts, but who knows, man? This is a fun fight. I think Stotts is really gonna have to train his jiu-jitsu. Wrestling isn't really a worry because Mix isn't known for his wrestling; he's known for his jiu-jitsu. But I do think Stotts' striking and his wrestling is better. So it all depends on the cardio, and I do think the cardio is even. And I do think the jiu-jitsu is the only threat that Apache has for this fight. So I will be going with Stotts in that fight, but for as far as tonight, plus 20 units on Bellator. I think we might be up on the year in Bellator. I have to check. Um, Definitely up on the night, no matter what. Um, that Gage Young thing. Really unfortunate. Should have just not touched FIC. And in future, we won't be touching it at all, no matter who's fighting. But yeah, that's it, guys. Great cards, guys. Great night. I really wish I could, get into some more action with you guys, but this is it. God, look at me. I'm like a. You guys can tell by the way I'm sitting. It ain't comfortable. I can tell you that. Ooh. See you next time.